Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is the greatest time of the day. From the center of the universe, New York City, it's the main event you've been waiting for. It's time to go in the cage with Cyclone.
And your Messiah has come back. 2 weeks in a row. I'm healthy. I think actually today was the first day back in the dojo and I kind of strained my shoulder. So playing like Cal Ripken, I'm playing hurt today for you guys. Lots to get into. Some new stuff to get into. But first, a breaking story, and not a good one. The Cuddly Bear, PFL's favorite heavyweight, Josh Copeland, this afternoon was suspended indefinitely by the organization for domestic abuse. He beat the piss out of his wife, and he did it in front of his kids. Nah, Josh, what are you doing? Oy. I don't get beating up anyone, let alone your freaking girlfriend. I mean, look, here's the deal. If she's gonna, you know what? I'm gonna be blunt, all right? If she's gonna let you treat her like third base and slide into her once in a while, what the hell are you gonna beat on her for? Oy. We're gonna be talking about fighters' health. That's a big topic. Lots of craziness this past weekend. What else? I want to remind you guys, CycloneComedy.com, Psyche Prods on Facebook. Lots of raffles. We had a nice raffle winner this past weekend from UFC 234, Rudy Asher. Almost a clean sweep at 10-1. Picked up a nice prize for himself. One that I think he's still smiling about. It's winter time. You want some nice warm clothing? EffectiveAggression.com. Great clothing line. Have someone that likes combat sports that you know? Great autographs you could get for them. I know because I got some of them for EffectiveAggression.com. So check them out. Please, pretty please, share this. And we're going to be talking wrestling. We're going to be talking boxing. We got every combat sport covered tonight. Why? Because there's a lot going on. And we are going to start it all off right after this.
This is Frank Edgar. This is the Barbarian Tim Bosch.
I'm World Series of Fighting undefeated lightweight champion Justin Gaethje.
MMA legend, UFC Hall of Famer, Iceman. Chuck it up. If you got the guts, step in the cage with Cyclone.
So before we get into everything, I just want to remind everyone that coming up this coming weekend, every major company has a card. It's going to be wall to wall, floor to ceiling, MMA across the board. Bellator 215, Bellator 216, back-to-back nights at Mohegan Sun where yours truly shall be. Not at the cards, but I'll be walking around Mohegan. Hopefully not losing in gambling. Invicta 34, you have LFA 60, you have one championship. And we finish it off on Sunday, UFC on ESPN 1, the return of Cain. Not the wrestler Cain, Cain Velasquez. Finally, after 2 years out, Cain is back. You know, he should technically come out like the wrestler Cain. That would be interesting. And he, facing Francis Ngannou, someone's going to sleep. That card's going to end really, really fast because those two throw down. Although I could see Cain taking Francis down and riding him for 5 rounds, but hopefully that won't be the case. Anyways, let's start off with the squared circle and some wrestling, all right? I want to give props to Sonny Kiss and Nyla Rose, and especially Nyla becoming the first trans wrestler to be signed to a major promotion, signed to AEW, where it seems that everyone is getting signed to. AEW is really throwing the money out there. Their roster is like a beautiful mosaic. They are covering every possible type of base at AEW. And they're kind of like the Bellator in the fact that contractually, they're just a lot nicer than, call it what it is, McMahon and the WWE. Not that, look, let's face facts. AEW is never going to challenge for the top level as the WWE is. But they're going to gain some steam. They're going to get some attention. Now, here's the thing. By them signing Sonny Kiss, by them signing Nyla Rose, it makes you think, would the WWE even consider doing that? And the answer, sadly, is no, because WWE TV is PG. They don't even allow intergender wrestling, which, if you follow the indie wrestling circuit, a good 40%, I'd say, 30 to 40% is intergender wrestling. And it's just the way it is. WWE can't do that. Their sponsors would lose their poop. And look, what you have to understand is, despite the millions and billions that McMahon has, the fact of the matter is, this world we live on is run by sponsors. It truly is. Because when the sponsors tell you to do something, unless you have high standards where you really don't care about your sponsorship, you got to do what sponsors tell you. If the sponsors tell you to jump, guess what? You jumping. So it's a real interesting thing that a company like AEW is now going to go to levels where the WWE won't. And they're not the first. I mean, TNA, ECW, I mean, plenty of others have done it. But AEW has a lot of former now WWE chips, which brings me to someone like a Nia Jax. Nia needs to maybe go back down to developmental because she is, as they say in the business, working too stiff. She has an incident report as wide as my gut, to be honest. She's really good and enjoyable to watch. But to her fellow wrestlers, especially the guys, she has to soften it up. Remember, it's not supposed to be real. Back to developmentals. Got to take some refresher courses. Let's see. Where shall we go after that? Boxing. Let's talk some boxing. Gervonta Davis just fought what? He fought Hector Ruiz, right? So here's the thing. He was supposed to fight Abner Mares. Abner, 10 days out from the fight, sparring session, gets a detached retina. And it's not the first time he's done it, too. A couple years ago, he detached his right retina. Now, he detached his left retina. Had another sparring session. Talked about with his girlfriend. His girlfriend forced him to go to the hospital, as most women kind of do. Always telling us guys, got to play it safe, do what's right. He goes to get checked out, and he gets pulled from his WBA super featherweight title fight against Gervonta Davis. Now look, Tank he's a Floyd Mayweather product. And Floyd is turning him into a younger version of himself. The media scrum on the red carpet after the fights, Floyd did all the talking for Tank. If I was on that red carpet, I'd be like, can he speak for himself? Floyd's taking a little bit too much of the pie. Let Davis speak for himself. Let him show his own colors. He doesn't need Floyd's hand up his butt like a marionette. Well, marionette's up on top. Like a puppet. Okay? Now, there's a little bit of controversy, not as much as a couple of MMA fights this past weekend, about the stoppage. Here's the deal. Davis comes out, lands a couple quick lefts to the body. Looked like it hurt Ruiz. Cracked him in the nose a couple of times. Hit a beautiful sweet combo in the corner. And then a right hook. Gervonta took a step back, and I don't know if it was that Hugo was having problems breathing, but he took a knee. The ref comes in to start, the standing 8 count. Asks him if he's okay, and he's looking at the ref like, called off first round. Did he take a dive? Was that considered a dive? I don't know. I don't want to think so. But here's where it's coming back to fighter health. Abner Mares got lit up across social media. Gervonta Davis on social media ripped him too at first, until everybody saw just how bad of shape Abner's eyes really are. He's heavily sedated. He's bandaged up. Look, you only get one pair of eyes in your life. It's not something to screw around with. 2 detached retinas. I'm not a doctor, but after all my injuries, I think I know a couple of things. I don't think Abner Mares is going to be coming back. Now, here's the thing. There's broadcasting opportunities out there for someone like him. So it's a better than even money bet, I'd say, because Al Heyman, he's the first one in boxing to specifically hire former fighters as the color guys. Because remember, in boxing, the 3-man team was basically all regular broadcasters. Once in a while, you'll get a special former or present boxer sitting ringside. Now that's all you see. As a matter of fact, in the UFC, that's all you get. All color guys, former fighters, except for one, Joe Rogan. I don't know. I think it's the end of the line for Abner, which is a shame because him at 100% could have given Tank Davis a run for his money. Now, what's next for Tank Davis? I'd like to see Lomachenko and him go at it. Floyd's already said he doesn't want Lomachenko. Of course not, because Lomachenko, he knows, would piece up Tank Davis. He would cut him to slices. Hey, Gina. Gina, next Wednesday, Brooklyn, okay, downtown. Hey, Susan. Thanks for joining. Ladies in the house. Hey, look at me, former chauvinistic pig cheering for the ladies. But no, you take the day off. Don't be like Jonathan. Anyways, you run the risk of ruining your perfect record when you go in there with someone like Lomachenko. Okay, so I think Floyd will do to Tank Davis and Loma sort of like what he did to Manny Pacquiao. Make him wait till he's a lot older, a lot slower, and out of the loop. I think that's what'll happen. Now, when we come back, we're going to be talking a little bit more about fighter health and fighter safety in the third realm of combat sports, MMA, which is the main part, because we're in the cage right now. Right after this.
Hi, I'm Jim Miller. This is Dan Morigliata. I'm Derek Brunson.
I'm Nick the Carney Lentz, and you're locked into the cage with Cyclone.
Now, there were a couple of questionable outcomes on Saturday across the board. Crude against Alvey. I don't think that, Dana White's crying out it was an early stoppage over there. I don't think so. Here's the deal. As a ref, if you see a fighter face down, ass up on the canvas, and he's turtled up like this, yeah, most of Crude's shots weren't getting in. But he was taking a pounding nonetheless. Your job is to protect the fighter. And if the best thing a fighter can do is give you a thumbs up, what are you, Hacksaw Jim Duggan back in the day? Oh, come on, really? That's not a proper defending yourself. That's not the way you do it. And if you turtled up and someone's pounding on you, whether the shots are all getting through or not, the ref is going to stop the fight. That's his job. Jeez Louise. And for Sam Alvey to get up and he's yelling and screaming, it's the same thing with TJ Henry Cejudo. There's no such thing as an early stoppage. There's no such thing in combat sports as a bad call. Look, in baseball, okay, perfect example. Home plate's 18 inches wide, 18 inches long from side to side. If a pitch doesn't cross the plate and the catcher catches it right here, it's a ball. If he calls it a strike, that's a bad call. Here's the foul line, okay? Fair territory, foul territory. If the ball lands here and he calls it fair, that's a bad call. In football, if I'm in the end zone with the ball, no argument, and they call it not a touchdown, that's a bad call. Regular sports, not the four main sports, that's a bad call. In combat sports, the job of the ref, well, not really a judge. Judges, all right. You want to say that they're sometimes blind. I'll agree on that one. But refs, I don't care if it's wrestling, boxing, or MMA. There's no such thing as a bad stoppage. They are protecting the talent. Because if it goes the reverse and they don't stop it, and, you saw the fighter taking a beating, why didn't you stop it? You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Seriously, you can't win. That's why there's no such thing as a bad call. There really isn't. And if you think there's bad calls, bad stoppages, unprofessional Cyclone, get over yourself. Okay? That's what you need to do. Anyways, now that I just said and went on that big giant diatribe about bad calls, bad stoppages, and there's no such thing, Bellator Newcastle this past weekend had bad judging. Patricky Pitbull went toe-to-toe with Ryan Scope. Ryan Scope, though, just did a lot more. Hopefully you are watching Jason Truman. By the way, I need to talk to you, Jason. I want to join your Saturday softball team, but we'll talk about that later. So Ryan Scope outworked Patricky Pitbull. There is no denying the fact. You can watch the tape of the fight and you can see who did more work. Patricky walks away with the win. Split decision. And of all things, it was in Scope's backyard. It should have been hometown scoring, but it wasn't. And That was bad judging, all right? You got the Shane Young and Austin Arnett fight on the UFC card. That was a back and forth nice fight. You had Fabian Edwards KOing not K. It wasn't a KO. It was a unanimous decision over Lee Chadwick. So now the Edwards brothers are on a nice little winning streak. Being Tay is in the UFC and Fabian is in Bellator. But obviously people are still talking about what should have been the main event. Robert Whittaker and Kevin Gastelum. I spent all of Saturday afternoon in 15 MMA group chat rooms in arguments. Listen, you donks, you freaking fools, you schnooks, as my grandmother used to say. If you think the UFC should cut Robert Whittaker or strip him because the man had freaking an internal hernia, a collapsed bowel where it slipped through his abdomen, the man could have died if he was in the cage. You freaking fools. There is no way on God's green earth, it's not going to happen, that they would strip him or especially not cut him. Are you kidding me? Really? You know, some of you MMA fans are and I respect the diehards, I respect the hardcore guys, but some of you are a little bit cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Does Robert Whittaker have bad luck? Yeah. A year ago, the shingles. Now this. The guy has bad luck. There's no two ways about it. Look, the surgery was okay. He's still in the hospital right now. They expect him to be out of the hospital in 2 days. They say he could be ready to fight in 6 weeks. You rebook the fight. That's all you have to do. There is no reason at all for the calling of the head of Robert Whittaker. That's retarded. And if you're offended by that word, I got a finger for you. Honestly. You're not going to take one of your stars and cut him because he had emergency surgery to save his life. Got it? Diehards. Anyways, what should they do about it? Rebook the fight. As far as Kevin Gastelum walking around the cage with Henry Cejudo's belt, look, I don't care. That's not going to rile my feathers up. There's worse things going on that rile me up. A guy walking around a cage with a belt could walk around naked for all I care. It wouldn't bother me. So that's his health. Iconic legend Wanderlei Silva, who's 51 years old, is now suffering from 8 of 10 symptoms on the CTE list. Of course, obviously, Wanderlei was in absolute wars. But look, I've spoken to everybody. Every fighter, Stitch Duran, every Bobby Campbell, every promoter. I talk to everybody in MMA about this. Everyone I talk to in wrestling about this. Obviously, boxing, yeah, too. I always ask, one of my best questions I always ask is, are you concerned about getting CTE one day? And they're always like, no. Guess what? This is the tip of the goddamn iceberg. I'm telling you, you're going to see a flurry of fighters coming down with CTE. And the only way you can truly be diagnosed with CTE is after you're dead. There's no true test for it. There's a symptoms list where they can say, you might have CTE, but they can't figure it out until they can cut your brain open. I'm telling you, just because MMA has not just the hands to the head, but the legs, the jiu-jitsu, the wrestling, the grappling, it's meaningless. You're going to see, in tragedy, that's when change happens. Okay? Dale Earnhardt Jr. dies in a car wreck. NASCAR comes up with the Hans device, which, if you don't know NASCAR, you don't like NASCAR, what the Hans device is, locks drivers into the seat. It is a framed system that they are in and they're not budging. So when a car flips over 10 million times, they're not rattling around. I'm not saying that MMA and wrestling and boxing are going to now have to wear headgear, but and I'm definitely not saying, okay, you can't hit the head. You can hit the body, but you can't hit the head. That I don't think that'll fly. I'm telling you, I think there's going to need to be changes done for fighters' health, for fighters' safety. Because I'll tell you what, the second the first fighter dies during a fight, the lawsuits will destroy the sport. And how can it not? Now, what else was there that I wanted to mention on that? I think that you hold off with Whitaker. Look, Israel Adesanya has had 5 fights this year. Let him recoup. Let him sit on the sidelines for a while. Get Bobby Knuckles healthy, better. Let him fight Gastelum. And then that winner fights Israel. You're not going to leapfrog Bobby Knuckles. You're just not going to do it. It's not right. And you're not going to leapfrog Gastelum because, quite frankly, he's the most deserving of getting that title shot before Israel Adesanya, despite how hot Israel is. And the same bottlenecking now is going on in the lightweight division once again. Everyone thought now that Khabib is champ, everything will be back to normal. But guess what? Lightweights are bottlenecked up because Khabib wants to sit out for the full year. Look, if you get the offer, 6 months if you do a PSA for anti-bullying, or you're sitting out 9 months. And then for Khabib to say not only is he sitting out 9 months, he's going to sit out 12 months because that's what his teammates got punished with, and he wants to sit with them. That is ultimate brotherhood. That is ultimate a high standard. But I don't get that. Look, you knew damn well that they didn't belong in the cage. they had to be tossed for a year. Okay? Khabib, you don't want to fight in Vegas? Okay. Don't fight in Vegas. Fight in New York, where the taxes will drop your pay tremendously. Okay. So as far as like the lightweights, I'm thinking, you got to four-way it. Tony and Dustin and Connor Cowboy, or check this one out. What if you do Tony and Cowboy? Tony Ferguson, Cowboy Cerrone. I mean, it's not going to be as fun as Cowboy and McGregor. I mean, those two will throw down, definitely. But Tony and Cowboy? That would be an interesting fight. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We are going to take the last break, and we are going to start to wrap it up, because when we come back, we have a new type of raffle. I'm going to tell you what happened today. I want to remind everybody first, though, effectiveaggression.com. Check out the site. Some great hoodies, some nice t-shirts, some nice hats. Get for a friend, a loved one. You know they like graphs. You know they like athletes. Signed gloves, there's a ton of them. From athletes, from celebrities. It's a good purchase. And money goes to a good cause. And guess what? We'll be done in about 20 minutes. But after me, once again, pinups, cool cats, and comics. So keep it right here on Strong Island Television. And we will be back to wrap this shing-ding up right after this.
I'm Dennis Bermudez. Hi, I'm a creepy Ian McCall.
Yo, I'm Kelvin Gastelum.
This is Mark Goldberg.
Yo, I'm the world's most dangerous man, Hall of Famer Ken Shamrock, and you're getting tapped out in the cage with Cyclone.
Happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary.
Guess who's back? Who else were you expecting? Not getting rid of me yet. Anyways, today we have a bunch of birthdays. So that birthday cake would be having a lot more candles on it if I would have done it properly. Anyways, check this list out. Today, the most dangerous man on the planet. Not the baddest man. The most dangerous man. Ken Shamrock's birthday is today. He's 56. Holy smoke. Ken Shamrock. 56. Wow. Wonderboy Thompson is 36. One of Khabib's teammates, Vagabov. I always mess up this kid's name. Vagabagov turns 33. I don't remember 33 years old. How about that? Peter Yan is 26. Megan Anderson, one of my crushes. I mean, you know, like Heather Hardy's my main crush, but Megan Anderson. Megan's 33 also. You know. Maybe Megan. I don't know if I could drag Megan here, but maybe one day on the phone. That would be sweet. And we got a pair of 30-year-olds. If I can't remember 33, I definitely can't remember 30. Andrea KGB Lee is 30. And so is my other girlfriend, Beck Rawlings, now in bare knuckle fighting championships. And she is now the Queen Bee, which is their title that the women have. She is the Queen Bee, her first title, and she's a Queen Bee. Also on this day, but not in MMA history, in boxing history, 29 years ago today, 42-1 long shot, Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson. 29 years. Wow, I am old. I remember watching that fight in my living room with my mother, with my father. I believe I was eating caramel buttered popcorn. I can't remember years. I can't remember dates that well. But Fat Guy always remember what he eats. Anyways, that all happened on this day. And now, for the brand spanking new raffle. Here we go with the new raffle. So how we're going to do the raffle now is I'm not going to pick two questions to answer and then flip a coin for the winner. What I'm going to do from here on out is I'm going to answer everyone's question because, you know, people kept saying, you know, you never answer my question. I'm just never lucky. That was basically just John James that said that to me, but so I decided I'm going to answer everyone's questions. So what I'm going to do after that, the winner will come from the roulette wheel, which means my Japanese quarter no longer gets flipped. Anyways, question number one comes from Rudy Asher. How would you fix the middleweight situation with Whitaker going down? Well, like I said, you let Israel Adesanya relax for a while. He's been busy, 5 fights in a calendar year. Needs some time off. You let Bobby Knuckles recoup from life-saving surgery. And you have him and Kevin Gastelum fight in 2-3 months. 4 months on the long 4 months on the long side. Doesn't kill anyone. Pardon the phrase. And then that winner takes on Israel, say, I don't know, International Fight Week, which would make a great either headline fight, co-main, or possibly a third fight on the main card. So you're already building for the summer, getting ready for the fall. It's called good marketing. You have to think ahead. Think out of the box. Now, as far as Chris Weidman, Long Island's own, a couple miles that way, calling Israel overrated, I don't know about that, Chris. I don't know about that. Anyways, that's how I would do it, Rudy. Question number 2 comes from Kenny Hodgkins. Do you think Conor's next fight is against Cowboy Cerrone or someone else? Yeah. Absolutely. I really think him and Cowboy are going to throw down. It makes a lot of sense, and I guess you do the Dustin, Tony Ferguson on the other side of the bracket, like a mini Grand Prix, and then that winner fights that winner, and you save maybe August, September, or you wait till November, that New York card, and you have Khabib fight the ultimate winner out of those 4 guys. Because, look, I'm telling you right now, if Dustin Poirier does not get to be part of whatever the UFC does with that lightweight title, he is going to open up a window on like the 9th floor of some building, and he's going to jump out head first. I mean, Dustin's had it up to like here with this nonsense already. Okay? That's the way I would play it. Once again, I love you guys making me be matchmaker, because I'm telling you, one of these days I'm going to be a matchmaker for real. Question number 3 comes from Brandon May. Why is Dana White... What did you write? Why is Dana White stalling so long with the flyweight division? If you guys don't know, I will break some news to you. In every UFC contract, there's a clause. When you lose, the UFC has the right to cut you. The UFC just cut 2 more flyweights off their roster. Dustin Ortiz, which kills me because I really, really like Dustin Ortiz. I'm hoping he lands on his feet. Maybe Bellator. It's a possibility for him. And John Moraga. I can't believe they cut him, but yep. Magic Man's gone. Although not the Marlon Moraes Magic Man. But why? Because they still need the flyweight division. Here's the deal. They have double the cards on ESPN. Double the cards that they normally have. They need titles. Not only do they need to replenish the flyweight division, but they damn well really fast better work on the female flyweight division. If I was them, I'm telling you, go to every small town, come out here to Long Island, grab some female 145-pound woman off the street. Go down Hempstead Turnpike, Dana White. Look, you're friends with Matt Serra? You tight with him? Matt Serra lives really close by here. Go down Hempstead Turnpike and just start picking women up off Hempstead Turnpike. They need 145 women, and they need them fast. Okay? They need 125-pound guys. They need them fast. Just pick these people up and stop cutting people. Is there a market for the 125-pound division? No, there isn't. But I don't know. I don't know why he's still. I agree with you. They need to make a hard line decision. Yes or no. Keep, go right now. And question number 4 comes from Susan Walker, who is watching. Your question: was it surprising Israel and Anderson went to a decision? Actually, I think I'm the only person in America who thought that Spider was going to win. I actually thought the old dog would have one more trick left in him. Obviously, he didn't. He did good. He doesn't need a title. He is one of these fighters, sort of like Conor McGregor, where you don't need a title. Fighters like that, fighters like a GSP, like either Nick or Nate Diaz, a Spider Silva. These guys are all above titles. Now, I know this saying is, no one's bigger than the game, and that's true. No one's bigger than the game. The name on the back of the jersey is the name on the front of the jersey is a lot more important than the name on the back of the jersey. It's an absolutely true statement. But here's the thing. What you have to understand is that when you get to such a level, you don't need a title. You can automatically put asses in the seats And to any promoter, that's what they want. Okay? You can be the biggest a-hole or the nicest person. If you can fill an arena, I guarantee you a promoter will sign you. At least a promoter that has brains. Okay? Anyways, now let's see who the winner is. 1, 2, 3, or 4. The winner is numero 1, Rudy Asher. 2 in a row for you, sir. Rudy Asher. You win. So, your prize will be delivered shortly. I don't know about tomorrow because, A, the weather's going to blow tomorrow, and I have an eye doctor appointment, and I'm not going to be able to see because he's going to dilate my pupils. So, I'm going to be blind tomorrow. So maybe Wednesday, because obviously Thursday and Friday, I'm in Connect Eye Cut with Bellator. Anyways, guys, my name is Cyclone. Your name is whatever your name is. Remember, coming up in just a few minutes, pinups, cool cats, and comics. So keep it right here. And until next week, where we're going to be talking all Bellator, just about, maybe some other things too. I'm Cyclone, saying, just because you right there are not an athlete, doesn't mean you can't be an athletic supporter. Bye-bye.